Hey, folks, welcome to Live from Coco's Cabinet. I'm your host, Coco, and you are here in the cabinet for another night of movie talk, VHS talk, and all sorts of fun stuff that we're gonna talk about this evening here on Live from Coco's Cabinet. Welcome to all my Blast Radio listeners, and hello to all my YouTube audience members as well. It's good to see all of you, and I'm excited to start the show. So up first, we are going to start where we always do with breaking news from around the web. All right, guys. So our news from around the web this week, the big news was we had the Golden Globes, of course. And these award shows are fairly meaningless, in the long run. I think especially the Golden Globes are kind of lower tier, but there were some things worth celebrating at this year's Golden Globes, really centered around the film Everything Everywhere All at Once, with Michelle Yeoh getting her first nomination and her first win after a decades-long career in a wonderful career in the business. And then the big win, though, for me, for my heart, really, was Ke Huy Quan, who was just magical in the movie. And it was just one of those wonderful stories of, an actor that we hadn't seen in a very long time coming back and coming back into the limelight and not missing a beat. Just giving this really just heart-wrenching performance in Everything Everywhere All at Once. And speaking of heart-wrenching, his speech at the Golden Globes is just one of those beautiful, beautiful all-timers. And I wanted to share that particular speech with you guys because I think it was particularly moving. So here with his beautiful acceptance speech from the Golden Globes is Ke Huy Quan.
Wow. Thank you so much. I was raised to never forget where I came from and to always remember who gave me my first opportunity. I am so happy to see Steven Spielberg here tonight. Steven, thank you. When I started my career as a child actor in Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, I felt so very lucky to have been chosen. As I grew older, I started to wonder if that was it, if that was just luck. For so many years, I was afraid that I had nothing more to offer, that no matter what I did, I would never surpass what I achieved as a kid. Thankfully, more than 30 years later, two guys thought of me. They remembered that kid, and they gave me an opportunity to try again. Everything that has happened since has been unbelievable. Dan Kwan, Daniel Scheinert, thank you so much for helping me find my answer. You have given me more than I could have ever hoped. Thank you to the Hollywood Foreign Press Association for this incredible honor. Thank you to A24, Leyline Entertainment, and AGBO. Thank you to our incredible producer, Jonathan Wong. Thank you to Michelle Yeoh, Jamie Lee Curtis, Stephanie Hsu, and our entire EEAAO family. And last but not least, I want to thank the most important person in my life, the one person that never stopped believing in me. My wife, Echo, I love you with all my heart. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
I mean, y'all, I'm about to cry here on the show. I mean, that is such a a moving speech, powerful speech, and just you can just hear the gratitude and the joy in his voice. And I just think it's wonderful. So these award shows are maybe complicated or problematic, but it does allow for really, really special moments like that. So congratulations, Kihei Kwan. Well-deserved recognition and award for your incredible performance in Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. So we're going to move on now to another segment, a segment that I like to call a little Tales from the Shelf.
Now it's time for Tales from the Shelf.
All right, guys, that's right. Tales from the Shelf. This is the segment of the show where I share something from my strange, weirdo physical media collection and talk a little bit about it. And for my YouTube audience there, you saw my preview image. Today's featured item from the shelf is the classic 1991 film Suburban Commando, right there for my YouTube audience, starring Hulk Hogan, Christopher Lloyd, and Shelley Duvall. Kind of a crazy cast for what is a pretty lower quality film, if I'm being honest. But it is a lot of fun, and it was actually initially planned for Danny DeVito and Arnold Schwarzenegger, but they ended up making twins instead, of course. And it ended up going over to Hulk Hogan, and then Christopher Lloyd filled the Danny DeVito role. So a really fun film about Shep Ramsey, an intergalactic warrior who crash lands on Earth after being attacked by the intergalactic president of a planet. It's got kind of a complicated sci-fi narrative for, again, what is essentially kind of a lower quality film. But I think maybe a lot of that script work probably came for when it was a bigger project than it ended up being. But the real highlight here is the special effects. A lot of really great practical effects with some cool ships, and really great costume design, as you saw on the cover there. If you're on YouTube, a great costume for Hulk Hogan, this sort of bounty hunter-esque suit. With the silver plating and a lot of really cool stuff going on there. And speaking of bounty hunters, Shep Ramsey is pursued by some intergalactic bounty hunters in the film. One of them played by an actor named Mark Calloway, who most audience members will know as The Undertaker, popular WWE wrestler, of course, one of the great wrestlers of all time. And we actually get a pretty cool Hulk versus Undertaker kind of battle at the end of the film, which is another highlight. And then I think the ultimate highlight is the creature design that we see at the end of the film when the villain is fully revealed, sheds his human skin, and becomes a pretty gnarly-looking alien. So Suburban Commando, classic on VHS, rented this as a kid, saw it a lot on TV. Watched it this morning on VHS actually, and it was a real delight. Had a lot of fun with it. Highly recommended. It is today's recommendation and sharing moment from the shelf here in the cabinet. 1991's Suburban Commando. Make some time in your life to go and check this kooky flick out. And now we are going to switch gears once again and head over to our next segment, Found Sounds. Found Sounds. All right, guys, this is the part of the show where I find myself a interesting piece of audio from the physical media that surrounds me here in the cabinet. That might take the form of a VHS tape or a cassette, or, as it will this evening, the form of a vinyl record, which for my YouTube audience, you can see queued up over here behind me, ready to go. In tonight's Tale from the Shelf / Found Sounds, I guess that's kind of a mashup segment tonight, we are featuring the Nashville band Ranch Ghost. This is a band that, as far as I am aware, no longer exists. And they were part of the Nashville Murfreesboro scene back in the day when, in another life, I myself was a musician and played the drums in a couple of bands. And we had the great pleasure of playing several shows with this band, Ranch Ghost. We kind of came up around the same time. And one person who is in the band, Matthew Scherer, is still a buddy of mine and lives in Nashville, is a very talented artist and skateboarder, designer, has a company called Temporary Enterprises, does all the artwork and the designs for the skateboards and clothing. Really cool guy, and have kind of maintained communication with him a little bit via Instagram. So tonight, our Found Sound is going to be the 45 single, the B-side, actually, from their single Nala. This track is called Ragged Mile, and it is coming to you directly from the 45 record released in 2012.
When it comes to intergalactic confrontation, no one can beat Chef Ramsay.
Excellent work, Ramsay.
So what's next?
Why don't you try relaxing?
But now he's about to land in a place even he isn't prepared for. Suburbia.
Get to know the locals. Blend in.
How do you know which ones are the right ones?
You have to squeeze it a bit.
Wow, I found a good one.
Here, they have strange ways of fighting.
You got any idea what we're gonna do to you?
Let me guess. You're gonna pound my face.
What are you, nuts? This is the 90s. We're gonna sue you.
They have bizarre means of protection.
Stand back. You are too close. Back off now. No, please, wait. Let's talk about this. No.
There are dangers he's never seen.
My mom could stay on longer than that.
And enemies he's never known.
I hate suburbia.
So you'd better not fake him out.
Must be a K7 force field. I'll break you out of there. Glad I could help.
Or take him on. For Hulk Hogan, it's no game. It's war.
Do you belong to some kind of army? Or you just go around doing good like some kind of superhero?
Hulk Hogan, Christopher Lloyd,
I was frozen today.
Suburban Commando.
My cat. My cat. That's not my cat.
Oh.
That, of course, the audio from the trailer for the excellent Suburban Commando, tonight's Tales from the Shelf, preceded by the wonderful track Ragged Mile by Ranch Ghost, former Nashville band, that coming from 2012 and playing directly live from a 45 vinyl record here on Live from Coco's Cabinet, coming to you on Blast Radio and streaming live to my YouTube audience. It is wonderful to see everyone. We are at the tail end of our program, and as we always do, we like to close out our show with our weekly radio melodrama, Amore on the Airwaves, and we have a very exciting new chapter beginning tonight on Amore on the Airwaves, and I'm going to allow our wonderful narrator of Amore on the Airwaves to take over and introduce that exciting new chapter tonight on Amore on the Airwaves. Welcome to tonight's episode of The Curse of the Pharaoh's Tomb, here on Amore on the Airwaves. Brought to you by Promptly, the prompt-based radio show where husband and wife team Hillary and Corey create competing playlists based around a prompt, here on Blast Radio at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time on Thursday nights. Tonight we start a new adventure. Listen in as we join Annie and Phil embarking on a thrilling adventure to uncover the secrets of an ancient tomb. But beware, the curse of the pharaohs may be real.
Phil, we finally made it. We're here in Egypt and the tomb of the pharaohs is just within our reach.
I can't believe we're actually here, Annie, but I've heard rumors about a curse on this tomb. Are we sure this is a good idea?
Don't worry, Phil. We're archaeologists. It's our job to uncover the truth. Besides, curses are just superstition.
As Annie and Phil begin to excavate the tomb, they uncover a hidden chamber filled with ancient artifacts and treasures. But they soon realize they're not alone in the tomb, and the curse may be more than just a legend.
Phil, I heard something. We need to get out of here.
It's okay, Annie. It's probably just a stray cat or something. Let's keep searching. We're so close to finding the treasure.
It's not a cat, Phil. Someone's coming.
Don't worry. I'll protect you. As the mysterious figure approaches, Annie and Phil must use all their wit and skill to escape the tomb and the curse of the pharaoh. Will they make it out alive, or will they be trapped in the tomb forever? Tune in next week for another exciting episode of The Curse of the Pharaoh's Tomb. right, guys. I hope you enjoyed that thrilling new chapter of More on the Airwaves called The Curse of the Pharaoh's Tomb. Exciting new episodes to come every week. We will see what happens to Annie and Phil next week. Make sure you tune in here to our show, my show, live from Coco's Cabinet, airing live every Saturday night at 7 o'clock here on Blast Radio, and available the next day as a podcast via all your favorite podcast providers, and of course also streaming live to my YouTube audience. It is always fun spending time with you here on Saturday nights. But throughout the week, if you get lonely, you can reach out to me on Instagram at Coco's Cabinet of Curiosities, or over on Twitter at Coco's Cabinet. I'd be happy to correspond with you about this week's show and about future shows. We are going to start featuring some interviews here on the Live from Coco's Cabinet. Some of those will be taking place live. Some of those will be pre-recorded. And in fact, next week, you can look forward to the interview that I conducted with Dr. Gangrene, local horror host, which you can see here for my YouTube audience on my t-shirt there. That interview was conducted a couple of years ago. And I'm going to attach that to our show next week for you guys to enjoy. And then there is also a very exciting live event that I'm going to be a part of, which you will hear more details about coming soon on my Instagram, my Twitter, and of course here on the show, live from Coco's Cabinet, coming to you every week on Blast Radio at 7 p.m. and on my YouTube channel at Coco's Cabinet. It's been great hanging out with you guys. I hope you all have a beautiful night, and I will see you all next week.